Why, hello, you guys. Chris Bernard here from Content Engagement Lab. I hope you're doing absolutely fantastic. I want to share with you how to do a keywords insight program. And this is where instead of guessing which keywords people are using, you actually go ahead and blow out all the possible keywords and keyword configurations, phrases, etc. that you can find in order to actually test it in Google. So you build out all those keyword phrases with those city localizations. You then run an AdWords campaign against those. And then after about a week and a half, you end up getting a nice list of all the keywords that people used to find your stuff and using Google AdWords to do that. So basically you get that list sorted by impressions descending, and then you go ahead and decide which ones you're going to go after, organically, paid, social, whatever. But it acts as a focus group so that you can see your brand, your products, your services, your marketplace against your competitors, which keywords are actually working. Without further ado, let's jump in there. So what we do start off with is basically a very simple list. Let me go ahead and show you. Like this is actually for a dentist in Olmsted Falls, Ohio, which is a suburb of Cleveland area. Very simple little keyword list here. And then they actually had cities that we wanted to focus in on. So they only had, 99 or so keywords. This list could be as big or as small as you want it to be. This is just their list. We could use Google AdWords to build out a larger list. We could use Ahrefs. There's a bunch of other tools online. You can use ChatGPT to build out this list of keywords, and then you just plop them in here. And we also go city, so the cities that you target. And then basically with that list, you can compile keywords, right? Not just the keywords themselves, which will sit in a normal campaign, but then also start adding in the city, both prefix and suffix. So that would be the city afterwards, but also the cities before, okay? So you can see that on this list. That's what compiles this list of keywords, which is, let's see here, 4,214 words, 4,214 words, I think. 15, 14, whatever, real close to that. Anyway, so that being said, you take this list, and we use AdWords Editor to be able to go ahead and upload those key terms, in which case then you can see you can build out a massive list of keywords pretty quickly, fill out the stuff in order to create the ads, videos, etc. Just follow the prompts, right, in terms of setting up a campaign first in Google AdWords, maybe adding a keyword or two for responsive, and then go ahead and upload your key terms using Google AdWords Editor. So massive time saver here. And then you can also then go ahead and edit that stuff, in terms of the actual keywords. Just a quick note for you, as you can see from this Excel, all I did here, guys, is put the actual keyword in there along with the tracking that I want to go ahead and use. And you can see in here, I'm using the UTM_source GAW dash and then the keyword. And the reason why is I want to see which keywords specifically people are using. You can put anything you want in there. You could use the content, UTM_content. You could use the UTM_keyword, whatever the case may be. I just find it really easy to do this because it bubbles right to the top. I don't have to keep filtering things down when I go look at analytics. Plus, this final URL will show up in like HubSpot and things like that if indeed you have the connections in there from a CRM standpoint. So I don't have to keep digging further and further down. I can actually just pull that stuff in and see it. And that's just the way I structured it, but it's very helpful. I often will go ahead and pull the data for Ahrefs just to see what it actually looks like in terms of the keywords. So I just pump this in and you can see the top keywords are here. I'm going to show you this is how to build it out, but I'm also going to show you just the manipulation that kind of occurs here. Now, granted, this campaign literally, this stuff just started, so I'm not going to get too much detail in here, but it's fun to look at what the search engine, the performance is actually doing, and as a follow-up, I'll do a second video after this test wraps up to show you what the variation between what Google has in terms of their estimates, which I'm going to show you kind of now what they're estimating for these keywords, and then also what is the reality of what's going on at the local level. You'll often find there'll be several, like 100 to 200% difference or variation between what Google's recommending and what the actual data says. And then when you take this data, by the way, interesting note, when you take this data after this test wraps up and you get your nice little list of keywords going on, you can actually go ahead and look at the impressions. That's the part that you're really trying to do, not really drive traffic. But what's interesting is if you go ahead and sort by not impressions, but you sort this test data by cost per click, it's amazing on how close Google's estimates are to what they're forecasting to the actual data when you sort by cost per click. Fascinating stuff, right? So I'm going to go ahead and basically let that run. I'm actually going to go in a little bit further here and see what Google's estimates are actually saying. So if you look just real quick, and these seem reasonable, by the way. You notice we're doing phrase match, not broad match. Phrase match is important. We could do exact match, but I do want to leave some variability open for words that are at the front or the back of the phrase. Because again, what I'm trying to do is get to the actual keywords people are using out there. And this is a way to kind of do a focus group, specifically tailored focus group to find those keywords. Okay, so like in this case here, we've got words that are kind of bubbling to the top, right? Dental clinic near me, laser, teeth whitening, dentist, tooth removal, right? So if you go to actually the estimates, and these are from Ahrefs, really? I got the one, but where are these other ones, right? Now it could be that they're more expensive, and I'm just not getting the visibility, but when I look at the cost per click, I have the cost per click set very high on that AdWords campaign, so that shouldn't be an issue. So again, I see teeth whitening down here, but it's literally in 7th position, and you can see just a fraction of the overall traffic. Look at that. So it's 1/4, right? 1/4 of that. And again, this is a brand new campaign, so we're not even close to it. But that's kind of the evaluation that I'm going to actually go ahead and do with Google. So it'll be interesting to see if this kind of pattern stays the same in terms of the keyword volume or perceived volume, because Google's estimator will have you go after these terms, but again, you're going to find that the actual keywords people are using at the local level in their marketplaces is quite a bit different, where literally number 1 and number 2, number 1's usually in that top 2 to 3, but you're going to find that number 2 and 3 often will get pushed down to way outside of even the top 10. A lot of times they're local terms too, by the way. It depends on the city. So anyway, it's kind of fun stuff there. Let's see, let's go ahead and do the estimator tool since we're here. So I'm going to go ahead and do tools, planning, and I'm going to go ahead and do, which one do I want to do here? Keyword planner. Let's get the forecast, right? So I'm going to go ahead and upload a file, but I'm going to go ahead and upload just the keywords here, the compiled list of keywords. So I'm going to export this out. Save as. I'm going to do this as a, I just keep moving my stuff around here. I'm going to do this as a CSV. It just makes it a little bit easier for Google. I'm just going to do that real quick. Boom. That's fine. That's what I want. And I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this too. And I'm going to save that because that's what I want. I just want the keywords. This is just for Google. Okay. Actually, I should probably need to back that up here too, just so I don't want to save that. Oops. Oops. That's all right. I can always export it out and bring it back in. Not a big deal. Okay, so let me go ahead and go into upload that. Let me find that. Boom, done. I'll select a file from computer. Boom, boom, boom. And keywords. And there's my Google file. Submit. And we'll see what it says. The reason, and I'm going to bring that right on into that Excel document for later on. All right, just got to make sure it's got 4,000 in here. Yeah, it's about that, right? So 4,200. So I'm going to go ahead. Look at that. Monthly searches. All right. Dentist near me. Bridges are probably referring to mouth, right? Bridges, Brooklyn. So I don't think that's the appropriate key term, by the way, just to let you know. Grinding gingivitis. Oh, I know why it says Bridges, Brooklyn, because Brooklyn's one of the cities. Okay, so it'll be interesting to see. We're going to export this data out, and we're going to see what their recommendation is in terms of this data later on, so you can actually see it. So stay tuned. If you want, you can always drop me an email so that I have this information for you and I can send you a link to it if it matters to you. Because it really is cool to be able to see what Google's little estimate is compared to actual real life data. Because you will find that they are not always the same. In fact, I will tell you and show you that they are very much not the same. So anyway, this is actual data. I'm just going to clean up the spreadsheet while I can here. Delete. Monthly searches, that's what I want to sort by. Data. Yes, it is. And monthly searches. Hello there. Average monthly searches. Let's go down that list. Okay, cool. So we'll have this next time when I actually get the data. We'll be able to compare those things so you will get the idea as to how Google's actually manipulating their estimates as it relates to local search. I hope you're doing great. Stay at it, keep strong, help people. Be well, folks. Bye-bye.